Hello, everyone. This is Intro to DeFi, and this is the first time you see my face, so hello. And I'm here with the community's beloved one, Simone Pomposi. Hello, Simone.
Hi, Atakan. Very, very nice to meet you. And first thing, a lot of compliments for what you're doing on Twitter with Intro to DeFi. It's amazing. Yes.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too, man. So, Simone, can you introduce yourself?
Of course. So my name is Simone. I'm the head of marketing at Phantom, and I've been working there for more than a year now. However, I've been involved with Phantom since pretty much the beginning. So before it was live as in the testnet. So we're talking mid 2018. I was a part of the community at the beginning. I did with other people, we always kind of organize different things. We did a community website together. I organized an event here in New York. It was back in 2019 when Andre actually came and presented Phantom along with IOTA back then and Holochain. The fun fact, the video is online, is on YouTube. If anyone wants to go check it out. The funny thing is that Andre was not only, of course, he explained Phantom, but also he could explain better IOTA and Holochain than the IOTA and Holochain. So it was incredible, and that was my first time that I met Andre, and then yeah.
Cool. Actually, that was a nice intro, and I want to ask first, what is Phantom in general?
So that's a really good question. So I will keep it very, very general, also because so people that are not so familiar with blockchain, with this space, can also understand it. And also I'm not a technical person, so I cannot really go too deep in the technical stuff. But anyway, so to keep it very, very simple, so Phantom is a layer 1 network, and it's a smart contract platform. So to really simplified at the maximum level, basically you can think of Phantom as a sort of Ethereum, but with two very, very, very big differences, which are those that really matter for the end users. And these very big differences are the fast transactions, the speed of transactions, and the transaction cost. So on Phantom, you can execute transactions for a fraction of a cent, comparing to Ethereum. Ethereum right now, today, actually, the gas fees on Ethereum are quite low, but still to send, let's say you have two wallets and you want to send Ethereum to one wallet to your other wallet, you still have to spend a few dollars, $2, $3, $4, $5. On Phantom, if you own two wallets and you want to move your FTM from one wallet to another, you're going to spend about $0.00001. So that's a huge difference. And then, of course, yes. And then it becomes even more so when you actually go interacting with contracts. So let's say, again, to keep it easy, when you use, let's say, stuff like Uniswap or Farms or all the DeFi stuff that, usually requires a little bit more gas costs, so they cost a little bit more. And on Ethereum, we're still talking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100. And on Phantom, we're still talking $0.0001. And so that's, I would say, the really groundbreaking thing of Phantom. And right now, I believe that no other chain can have similar costs. There are other chains that are that offer fast transaction speed. For example, Binance Smart Chain to a certain extent, Avalanche for sure, Solana, but Solana is not EVM compatible. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. But none of this, maybe Solana can get to the, actually not even to the same costs, but I would say that Phantom is for sure the cheapest. And the second part is the speed. The speed is incredible, especially because we come from years of using Ethereum, and we're kind of in Bitcoin, we're used to those speeds. So if I send some Bitcoin to you or some Ethereum to you, we know that it's going to take some time. If I send Bitcoin to you, it's going to take, at least 10 minutes or something like that, for the block confirmations. If we really want to make sure that, you receive that Bitcoin and it cannot go back if there's anything weird, any reorg on the chains or on the chain or anything like that. It's better to wait a few blocks confirmation.
Yeah.
On Bitcoin, we're talking each block is confirmed every 10 minutes. So to make sure, usually that's why on exchanges also they wait for block confirmations, and depending on the amount, it's safe to advise to wait, let's say in case of Bitcoin, 3, 4, 5, 6 block confirmation. And in that case, it means an hour, so to make sure that that money is yours, we have to wait 1 hour. On Ethereum, it's a little bit better, but not that much better. So again, depending on the cost, the gas that you use, and so the cost of the transaction, we're still talking a few minutes to really have a final confirmation. Now, on Phantom, we're talking 1 second. That's groundbreaking, and 1 second is final. So there's no way, you don't need to wait for additional block confirmations. As soon as the transaction enters the network, that's final.
And that was one of the questions I wanted to ask, and glad you almost answered it, mostly. But Phantom achieves time to finality in 1 second, and transaction costs are like fraction of a cent, too cheap, too fast. What is the reason behind it? How does the consensus of Phantom work? And before the answer, I need to, there's a cat in the room. let me just. It was meowing all the way that I want to go out the room. So my one eye was there. So let's get back to the question. How does consensus work?
Okay, that's a really good question. I'm not the best person to answer this, but I'll try, to my best knowledge, and also not to make it too complex for
in layman's terms.
So the consensus on Phantom is an ABFT consensus. ABFT stands for Asynchronous Byzantine Fault Tolerant Consensus Mechanism. This means that participants in the network can just validate transactions without necessarily communicating to each other. So there's no, unlike, let's say, PBFT, such as Cosmos or any other blockchain that has a council or sort of like elected or delegated proof of stake. I'm thinking about list.
Round robin delegation.
Exactly. That means that there's a group of actors or of validators that kind of get together and reach consensus at the same time. On Phantom, it's not like that. So asynchronous is just as soon as the transaction enters the network, that's confirmed right away by whoever picks it up. And then that actor, so to speak, start communicating to the other actors in a way that is called gossip about gossip. And it's also something that was, that, for example, Hedera Hashgraph does in a very different way, but gossip about gossip is a sort of a general concept. And how it works is this way. So assume that there's an actor called, as participant called Alice, and she tells everything that she knows so far about what happened in the network to another network participant that she picks at random, and let's call him Bob. So she tells everything to Bob, and she does the same thing with everyone else in the network, and Bob does the same thing. So Bob, at random picks participants and start to say the same thing, and so everyone else. So you see that basically they just keep spreading gossip about gossip. So it's like, I tell you some gossip, you tell your friend, and then your friend tells someone else, and so it spreads. And that's how, the Phantom consensus works at a very, very basic level. Also, one thing that is worth mentioning is that, so the Phantom consensus is a DAG. So that's also thrown in the mix sometimes, without going specifically in how the DAG works and what it is in particular. I'm not too competent to get into that, but that's the reason why the consensus mechanism can be so fast.
It stands for directed acyclic graph for the viewers. And I'll put some link in the description for you if you want to go far about the deck. The one thing I want to ask is, we know Phantom is currently used in the real world, like in the countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan. There was a pilot on Ukraine, I believe. Can you tell us something about it? What Phantom is doing there?
Yeah. So that's actually super exciting because this is something that we are doing, I believe, very differently from a lot of other blockchain projects, blockchain companies, right? A lot of them, or I would say most of them, if not really all of them, they're focusing on on-chain stuff, right? So DeFi and general on-chain applications. Not many of them, not many blockchain companies actually are planning right now, not even planning, they're actually doing active business development in the real world. We're really one of the very, very few that is doing that. And so the reason why not many do it, it's because it's not easy, right? Specifically and especially when you're dealing with governments and countries like Phantom, right? You mentioned Afghanistan, you mentioned Pakistan, you mentioned Ukraine. These are all correct, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. But let's say that, you know, I want to contact, I don't know, Germany. How do I do that? You know, there's no website for Germany government and or Telegram, you know, hey, can we talk about exactly, but you know, it's not, these people are in the governments in general are not easily accessible. So thanks to actually our great team member and chief how's it called? Chief Government Officer.
Barek Secretary.
Exactly. Yeah, I always misspell his title. But yeah, Barek Secondari. He's been with Phantom for a very long time, and he's also he was born in Afghanistan, so he has a lot of contacts on the ground. He has a team on the ground, and that makes things so much easier, especially in the Middle East, where a lot of these relationships are still very personal. So I know someone that knows someone else that can make an introduction, and then that's how things are. And especially, again, in countries like Afghanistan, for example, these direct connections are still very possible. And you know, the government entities are very open to hear new solution, especially to improve what they're currently doing. So that's how Afghanistan started, right? So he started from Barek, he started from his connections there, he started with his team on the ground. And that's very important. That also explains why it's Phantom and not, I don't know, and not Neo, for example, right? So it's not necessarily for the tech, even though, of course, we have the tech to back it up, because that would be the next step, right? Okay, so first step is making contact, assuring that we have that direct network contact. Then after that, the second thing would be, okay, now we have contact, what are we talking about? So many companies, most of them, cannot even get past that first point, right? So yeah, long story short, thanks to Barek again, we started working with the Afghanistan government. The first project happened last year in May, June, July, around that time, with the Ministry of Health. And this was actually something really, really cool. And we started tracking pharmaceutical products to certify that actually what people were buying in the store, in the pharmacy, were the real products, because that's a big issue in basically in a lot of countries, in 80% of the world, that a lot of medicinals, a lot of pharmaceutical products are counterfeit. So providing a way for people to verify and to be sure, 100% sure, that what they're buying in the store is not going to actually damage their health, but it's going to help them, it's something that is huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the first pilot program with Afghanistan was that. We are actually, I think it's concluded now. We're going to, announce the outcome, I believe, in the next weeks or so. But basically what we are doing, are still doing, is to track the life of the medical product. So from the producer to the distributor to the final end user. And the end user could just go use their smartphone or also their cell phone by calling a number, I believe, basically scanning a QR code and with a specific app. And that app would tell of course, that it would certify that that medicine is accurate and it is what it says it is, but also it can say the production date and all the steps that it has done so far. So that's something super, super cool. Yeah, and besides that, we also have 3 more pilot projects going on in Afghanistan and more to come, because what's happening right now, it's very it's actually amazing to see, is that now we got their attention, right? Okay, we got the Ministry of Health, and then we got DABS, the largest the national electric company for Afghanistan. And then we got the standard authority for Afghanistan. And then all the other government entities are like, oh, okay, so this thing is, I want to jump on board that as well, right? I want to, I want to make my my department better, right? Because that's all it is. Basically, with what we're doing, we're improving efficiency of government entities. So it means saving money, it means saving time, and eventually means giving citizens of Afghanistan, in this specific case, a better service.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's really cool. And don't worry about the misspell of names. I think people call you Simon or something every time.
Yeah,
so that's really cool, actually. And it's really cool to see that one of the blockchains, how do I say it, purpose is to make a real world better. And not many blockchains are, as you say, not working on that. Like I know DeFi is cool. And actually my name is intro to DeFi, so I love DeFi, but making the world better is something super cool in my opinion.
Exactly.
So the other question is going to be about the fWallet. So we are seeing UX improvements in crypto across board, and you guys are working on big improvements as well with the next release of the wallet. What is that about? Yeah. And how do you? Okay, what is that about? This
okay. Okay. So regarding the wallet, let's talk a little bit, actually, before getting to the Phantom wallet. Let's talk about the user experience in general in blockchain, in crypto. So it's getting better. It got for sure much better, but it's still not the best, right? Especially, I mean, for using DeFi, it's, people that are not very familiar with these things will still going to encounter some issues. So our job is to remove most barriers as possible within the user journey, so to speak. So basically, the user is here, wants to start and wants to do a certain thing that is here. How can we do this instead of doing that, right? And okay, now going back to Phantom, something that I didn't mention in the introduction, which is also very, very important, is that Phantom is EVM compatible. What it means is that it can run pretty much like everything that is running on Ethereum. So it's super easy for developers to deploy the same protocols, the same dApps that they have on Ethereum, and port them over to Phantom with, again, the massive improvements that are the speed and the cost, right? Because also for developers, deploying dApps on Phantom is super expensive. And also it takes time, right? Same thing, they have to wait for confirmations, and the transaction gets confirmed and such things. On Phantom, again, we're still talking 1 second confirmation. We're still talking, a few cents maybe, but not even to deploy a smart contract. So that's, I would say, huge value proposition compared to non-EVM comparable projects. Now, this EVM compatibility also makes it easier for users. Why? Because so you're intro to DeFi, so you know exactly how the whole DeFi world and ecosystem works, but basically it's kind of all centered around MetaMask. So yeah. Let's say you go to Uniswap, you connect your MetaMask wallet, and there you go, you can use Uniswap. On Phantom, it's exactly the same thing. You go on SushiSwap. On Phantom, you connect your MetaMask, and exactly in the same way, you can use SushiSwap. Now, this means that users don't have to, first thing, install an additional software, for example, in their computer. They don't have to install an additional browser extension. They don't have to install anything else, because keep in mind that, especially when it comes to crypto, anything that you install on your machine that is interacting directly with your tokens is a potential harm, right? It can be hacked. So if we reduce all those potential, hacks, hack possibilities, it's better. So that's why with MetaMask, you can set up a custom network on Phantom, and you can do it with the beautiful website that Andre did, that is called Chainlist or something like that.
Chainlist.org, I believe.
Very bad remembering all these names. Chainlist.org. It's literally just one button click, and it set up MetaMask for you. So in the moment that you have MetaMask set up, exactly like on Ethereum, you go there on any dApp that you want to use. For example, on Phantom, we have SushiSwap right now, we have Cream, we have Curve, and we have a few, actually every day, new stuff is coming out. So right now there's a Spooky Swap that came out a couple of days ago. There's a Spirit Swap, I believe, is coming out. Anyway, there's so many. It's also, we're gonna talk about that later, but it's so exciting to see all these new projects coming. And again, all it takes is just you go on the website, click connect your MetaMask, and you're set to go. Okay, this is a little introduction to the user experience in crypto. Now, specifically for the wallet, we're working on an updated version of the wallet that would be, I believe, V2 or V3, something like that. And we're targeting Q3 for the wallet, for the release. Again, since we're already a working wallet right now, that it's pretty much serving its purpose, there's no rush of pushing this out. So we'd rather having a complete product as much as possible, like a really good solid MVP that doesn't necessarily need to have additional features. I'm going to talk about the features right now, but there's stuff that can also come after the release, but we want to make the release super, super solid. And so this means an easier way to connect your wallet. We're going to favor using the Ledger hardware wallet and MetaMask over software. So mnemonic and private key. Of course, it will still be possible to access using software wallet, but we strongly not recommend that for the reasons that I said before, right? Whenever you use software stuff, it's more prone to hacks. So MetaMask and Ledger are definitely, and Trezor, for hopefully, if we can add support for that as well, they're definitely much more secure options. Now, the user experience in general will be improved. So it will be easier to send tokens. It will be easier to stake. It will be easier to claim rewards. This is actually something that the many users brought up over time. Hi, Daniel. I know that he's been very vocal about the rewards claiming.
Yeah.
And he's right? So right now, it wasn't really the wallet that was limited. It was a limitation that came at a network level. And with the current network upgrade that we're performing, that issue is resolved. So up until now, you, as a user, you could only claim up to 50 or 100 or 300 epochs, I believe right now, of rewards. It means that, let's say, without doing the calculation, but let's say that you would have to, if you had unclaimed rewards for, let's say, 6 months, you would have to claim your rewards multiple times, which is, I mean, it's fine. You know, again, transactions on Phantom are super cheap, so it's really not an issue, but it's annoying, right? You have to just go there and click like,
yeah, click.
Yeah. And it's computers, it's technology. It's like, why do I have to click 6 times and can't the computer do it, right? So we solved that. It's coming in again once we finish this big network upgrade that we're doing to Go Opera, that will be resolved. Now, a big shift that we're doing with the wallet as well is basically the integrations. So we're going to integrate third-party protocols and dApps in the wallet, and specifically, we're going to integrate aggregators. So the Phantom wallet, so we want to make the Phantom wallet an all-in-one stop, like suite, and just one stop for Phantom users. So as I said, you can send and receive Phantom, you can stake your Phantom, you can participate in governance, and also participate in DeFi. So you will be able to swap tokens directly from the wallet. You will be able to borrow and lend directly from the wallet. You'll be able to also providing liquidity directly from the wallet. Maybe that could come a little bit later. I'm not sure, but you know, swapping and lending and borrowing for sure will come in Q3, or anyway with this major release of the wallet. And we'll do that by, so for the for trading, so fTrade, that's how it's called, the part of the wallet where users can swap tokens. We will integrate Orion protocol. So Orion will give us access to cross-chain liquidity on DEXs and centralized exchanges. So that will be amazing, right? So it will be super easy to trade directly from the wallet. Regarding lending and borrowing, we're probably going to integrate Cream at the moment. And then let's see if at some point we'll have more yield generating protocols, then we will integrate something such as Yearn, for example. Again, I'm not saying that we will integrate Yearn. We will integrate Yearn once the ecosystem is big enough for Yearn to make sense, right? Yearn by itself, it's just an aggregator, so it doesn't do, there's not other stuff. And okay, 2 more things about the wallet. We're also planning on having NFT support, meaning that if you have NFTs in your wallet, you will be able to see them directly in the Phantom wallet, and possibly also will connect marketplaces if there will be, I mean, there's going to be marketplaces, but you know, we're going to connect NFT marketplaces to the wallet so that, let's say, you can directly, you know, from your NFT, you can click on it and it will bring you to the marketplace. And then once you're in the marketplace with your NFT, you can maybe sell it or something like that. We're also, one last feature that we're adding is called, for now, probably, I think it could stay the name, it's the dApp Store. And it's similar to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It will just show basically all the protocols and dApps that are deployed on Phantom. To a certain extent, we're still thinking how to make sure that we're not promoting scams or anything like that. So maybe there's a sort of a listing process to implement in that, but it would be super cool, right? Because again, as a Phantom user, you go in the dApp Store, and dApp Store doesn't mean that you have to pay. It's nothing like that. It's just a list of dApps on Phantom. And so you can go there, you can, either browse or also filter by, let's say exchanges, or filter by lending protocols, filter by games, filter by NFT platforms or something like that. Again, our aim is to make it easy for the users and to access the Phantom ecosystem in the best way possible.
Actually, that is super cool, and I love the dApp Store idea, by the way. And what attracted me at first was the wallet design, and like I can do DeFi on wallets or send receive transactions, and there's a governance. Actually, that would be one of my questions. So currently, what's going on in the fWallet, and some viewers don't know about the governance of Phantom. So can you explain how does governance work on Phantom?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So Phantom, again, compared to many, many other platforms, Phantom has, so the decision making on regarding the network on Phantom is extremely decentralized, or at least it's extremely not up to the foundation, right? So since when we introduced governance, which was a few months ago, any network upgrade, I mean, not the one that we're doing now, but let's say network edits, right? Anything that we want, any parameters that we want to alter in the network will have to go through the governance. We won't be able, the foundation won't be able to do it without it. This means that, for example, there's a proposal right now going on, which is about lowering the minimum amount required for validator nodes to run a validator node, right? Right now, the minimum, and this was set back, at the beginning of mainnet in Phantom, so it was a year and a half ago, and right now it costs. I mean, not it costs, but anyway, to run a validator node, you have to stake 3.175 million FTM, which at current prices, it's a very, very steep amount.
Yeah.
And the governance proposal is exactly about that. So it's about lowering that. So joining the network as a validator node is more accessible. Of course, always keep in mind that it's not advisable to be a validator node if you're not experienced in running validator nodes, if you're not experienced with servers and DevOps in general. But anyway, it will be certainly a really good thing to make it more accessible. Now, to go back to your question, yeah, many people don't know about governance. So what governance does, as I said, is just a decentralized way to vote on proposals to change specific parameters of the network, and can also be more general things. I'm saying something dumb, but for example, any users could say, okay, I want to change the color of the wallet, from the current one to green, for example. Let's put up a proposal. If the network agrees with it, then we're going to go with it. It's a very democratic way of doing things, especially in a decentralized network. And so how it works is the following. So you can create a proposal, not yet. We're still, so actually, let me rephrase that. We have the infrastructure ready for people to create proposals themselves, but we want to make it nicer and possibly also integrate it in the wallet. So it will take a little bit longer. But anyway, the way that it works is that, assuming that is the current situation, anyone that has a stake on Phantom Network, so you have to stake some Phantom. If you just hold the Phantom in your wallet, you're not able to send a proposal or vote for proposals. Anyway, you can create a proposal and and just state your asks, and then people will be able to vote on it. So there are a few different types of proposal templates. They vary in complexity, and they vary also in minimum participation required. More simple proposals, such as the example that they did, change the color of the wallet from what it is now to green. That, of course, is not a big deal, so it won't require a big network participation. It still need to be, of course, more than half, specifically 60%, I believe, is the minimum quorum required. But of course, for more substantial changes, such as the one that the proposal that is out now, there's actually changing some very important parameters in the network, such as the minimum phantom required to run a validator node. In that case, we need the majority of the network to be okay with it. And in that case, it's 90%. Now, how does the voting process work? So first thing, as I said, you have to stake some phantom to be able to vote. If you only have phantom in your wallet, you'll not be able to vote. So you just go on the proposal. Phantom governance is pretty cool. It's not just yes and no proposals. You can actually express a level of agreement with certain proposal. Let's go back to our change the color of the wallet thing. You will have 4 levels of agreement, and 0 is I disagree, 4 is I fully agree, and then the other are like middle grounds in between those. So let's say you're not fully sure. It's like, yeah, I kind of okay with green, and it's fine, but not fully convinced. It would be the 3rd spot. And the other one would be, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I'd rather not to. Then it would be the 2nd spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, yeah, it's clear. Now, what happens if you don't vote? If you don't vote, it's actually, that's another super cool thing of governance on Phantom. If you don't vote, let's say if you're a staker and don't vote, then your the node, the validator node that you staked with will vote for you, meaning that so this is how a validator node is structured. Let's say a validator node has a certain amount of tokens that he self-staked himself, plus all the tokens that other people delegated to him. So when a proposal is up and the validator node votes, he will vote with all the voting power, which is given by the whole amount of the token staked and delegated to his node, right? So let's say that the validator is the very, very first to vote on a proposal. He will vote with everything. And then you, when you go to vote, if your vote is different from what the validator node voted for, then you can just put your vote, and the votes, your votes will actually be subtracted from the choice that the validator node made, and will be, of course, assigned to what you voted for. So this is pretty cool. It means that it actually adds a level of participation as well from the validators, because when we stake on Phantom, we're literally delegating, right? We're not just delegating the tokens, we're also delegating the decisions. So if I can say, okay, you know what, I'm fine. I don't really care about this proposal. I'm fine with whatever my validator node votes for. So, that's also really, really cool. But if you want to make sure to be able to express your opinion, you can go there and vote for what you want.
Yeah, it's on chain, so
yeah,
it's so easy to vote on fWallet. And as I said before, like all things on fWallet, and it's super easy to use. Just go and use fWallet, and you'll see what I mean.
Absolutely.
And the last thing I want to ask is, what excites you the most about Phantom right now?
Well, right now, so I have to say that this answer kind of changes super frequently. And right now, literally today, I'm seeing all these new projects coming to Phantom. So, or not just coming, or actually projects almost exclusive to Phantom. So let's say ZooCoin, right? I mean, the Zoo guys made an amazing work, with the charts and the wallet and everything that they're building. And then, Spooky Swap, I mentioned it, and then Spirit Swap. And again, I can't remember all these new things that are popping up left and right, but it's amazing to finally see developers using and acknowledging that Phantom is so easy to use, and it's a pleasure to use, right? Because I would say that's the most important thing, because of course, Phantom, I mean, we can all say, okay, yeah, Phantom is great and amazing and it's super fast, but we need people, we need developers to build the stuff on it so that us can go and use those things. And now seeing this mass, I don't want to say exodus, but you know, this a lot of people, a lot of builders coming over to Phantom and start building things or porting things from Ethereum, from Binance Smart Chain, from Avalanche over to Phantom as well. It's something really, really amazing. I really think that, so it really feels, I think that someone wrote it today, well, in a Telegram group that we are together, that it really feels like the early stages of Binance Smart Chain and the early stages of Uniswap on Ethereum back like last year. That's the kind of level of energy and excitement that is happening right now around Phantom. And so that's the thing that I'm, in the short term, I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about what people are building. I know of 2/3 major projects that are currently being built on Phantom. They're actually, yeah, all three of them are new, so they're not coming from anywhere else. They're gonna be either exclusive to Phantom or almost exclusive to Phantom, which is amazing.
And I'm already excited.
Sorry?
I'm already excited.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's super, super exciting. And yeah, I wish I could say more, but you know, you guys will be, I mean, everyone will be very, very happy about it. Okay, so that's what I'm excited in the very short term. But well, in general, it's great to see, you know, so I mentioned that I was part of the community before joining the team full time. So I've really seen Phantom growing, you know, like since it was like a very, very small project and, you know, going through a lot of things, a lot of phases. And now we're at the point where we're actually seeing the results. We're starting to see the fruits after all the seeds that we planted in the past couple of years. So that's super exciting. And of course, so you mentioned that not only we're doing the on-chain stuff, but also the like the real world stuff. And there's a lot of things going on in that regard as well. And so you mentioned Afghanistan, you mentioned Pakistan. I didn't talk about Pakistan. I will mention it very quickly. Again, thanks to Barek and the work that we did in Afghanistan, we were able to cross the border and go to Afghanistan, to go to Pakistan. And there's a lot more coming from Pakistan. So what we did so far is the first pilot project that is in regard of the Punjab prisons, again, to make things more efficient, but that's the very first one. There's a lot more to come. And then I'll stop here because I can't say no more, but but I have to say that, so let's say that I'm equally excited for the on-chain stuff that I know that is happening and that I'm sure that will happen, as well as the stuff that I know that is happening and I hope that will happen in the real world off-chain kind of thing.
That's good answer, man. And I'm already excited by your answer, so I hope the viewers feel the same as well. And thank you for coming here, Simone. Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure to meet you, and actually everyone, because they are seeing my face for the first time. So that was a nice talk. Thank you for being here. If you want to add something more, you can go. Yeah. I don't know if you want.
Yeah. So first thing, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having Phantom as the first project on your show. And also, so for everyone that doesn't know about Phantom, I want to remind that, you know, they can go to phantom.foundation. That's our website to learn more about Phantom. They can go on Twitter at PhantomFDN to follow the latest news. And then they can join Telegram and Discord. So Telegram, actually, I want to mention something about Telegram. Yes. So,
I was forgetting that, but thank you for reminding it. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now our official chat is on Discord because it's much easier to organize things on Discord than on Telegram. But we're also planning on reopening our Telegram channel. That's because a lot of action is on Telegram. Some people don't have Discord. Some people don't like to use Discord. So why not? We're going to try to have both. And we're allocating some resources for community managers so that we can, we can open both channels for communications. So I'm very excited about that because I'm thinking of Telegram as a sort of the first entry point to Phantom. And then for people that want to expand on conversation and have more organized conversation, they can go on Discord. And for example, developers would like for sure Discord better because they can have everything much more laid out. So yeah, so that I don't have a timeline on Telegram. I believe in the next couple of weeks at the latest, but yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to announce it on Twitter for sure, so you will know about it.
I was asking that in Telegram to you that question, and now I forgot that. So, but whatever. Thank you for your answer, and thank you for being here, Simone. It was nice to meet you, and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.